It's time.
It is time for the movie part one.
This is so fascinating because I actually was like, oh, it's really enjoyable watching this movie, having only gone through half the book because the beginning chapters are still way more fresh than the other times we've done the movies where I'm like,
so
oh,
true.
I don't know. Did that happen in this book?
Book 5, like at the end of that. But when we were watching the movie, I was like, that happened in this book. I was like, could have fooled me. Like, news
It's crazy.
to me.
Crazy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We're dealing with another little heat wave over here. I have got my little fan on, so sorry if you hear the little, I don't know, the
I don't hear it. Well, we're gonna have to get right into it, Ari. We've dilly-dallied and twiddle-twaddled too long. Yeah. Ari, this week we watched Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. What happens in this half of the movie? Okay.
So in this half, we see Harry, Ron, and Hermione set off on their quest. But not everything goes according to plan. Multiple times, we should say.
Yeah. Any big differences?
I didn't know. I don't know if there's like a huge one, like one that I would mention right off the bat, but I did notate when things were different.
When things were a little different. Yeah, it didn't feel like there was anything too shockingly different. Like it was like, there are things they omitted. Like Dean and the other goblins and people are like not in this.
Right. I
mean,
most
like,
of it's
pretty.
Hedwig's
Hedwig wasn't in the cage.
I actually think I like.
I think I like the movie version of the death.
Yeah,
better.
Me too. It's way more significant. She gets like a last moment. Like her death is kind of like more purposeful.
Yeah, and I think it's an easier, because they use it to be like, oh, that's how they knew it was me because Hedwig saved me. And I was like, yeah, that makes way more sense than being like, I saved Stan Shunpike, a character you'd have to remember from 5 movies ago.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Well, let's get right. Let's go. Let's do it.
I'm ready. Let's get into it. So
I've got my coffee, Ari. I'm ready.
I'm ready to go. So we open with Scrimgeour giving a speech. Bill Nye, of course.
The science guy. Mm-hmm.
He's talking about the ministry remaining strong. Hermione is reading the Prophet, and there's a story in the Prophet about a Muggle family that has been killed. So this is making her kind of, think about her next steps with her parents that are Muggles. This is the iconic line from Emma Watson where she goes, "Coming, Mom."
Oh, this is iconic.
They're just, people will like do an impression of her, how she says it.
Oh,
My impression
really?
is not good. Because she has like a little voice waver where she's like, "Coming, Mom." But I do not do a good Emma Watson impression.
I think this is my favorite of all the movies. I think this is her best performance.
Yeah. The last two, she honestly, all 3 of them for these last 2 movies were like, they were just one with the character at this point.
Yeah. They were just writing for them at this point. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. There's this. Do you watch Actors on Actors ever?
Sometimes, if there's people I'm interested in.
Yeah, so Charlie Cox and Joe Locke. It's Locke, right? Not Lockie. Joe Locke.
Locke, yeah.
They were on one together, and they were so cute when they were on it because they were like so relieved to be doing it with like another Brit, which I thought was really sweet.
That is sweet.
But there was a moment where Joe was talking about in season 3 of Heartstopper. He was saying how he was like, I felt like what I was doing was so simple, and sometimes I like worried about that because he was like, because obviously I had just been playing Charlie for so long at that point. But when he said that, Charlie was like, no, I think that's a really good sign actually, because it means that like you are so inherently at like one with the character that you kind of instinctually know what types of choices and stuff like that you would make. Because he was like, because think about when like you see someone who's been playing a character for a long time and then all of a sudden it's just like a little bit too much or like too like overdone. He was like, I think it's better when you really like kind of settle into the role. And that's what I think happened with all of them for this last, well, two, for both of the last movies. They both were like, all right, it's our last one. Let's go. Let's bring it home. Because yeah, they just don't even really, you just inherently know. You don't have to really like try and figure it out. You've been playing this character for years now. For them, at this point, it would have been like half of their life.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
But yeah, they're great. They're all great. So Hermione is considering what to do about her parents. The Dursleys are leaving their house because it's not safe for them anymore. And Ron is standing outside the burrow. So I really liked this opening. I like that we check in with our golden trio, our three like protagonists, basically. And we're like, okay, this is where they all are starting, knowing that things are going to kind of change forever at this point.
Is this when we talk about the burrow of it all?
Oh, yeah, we could. Yeah, let's talk about it now. Adam is upset that
they just well, this is the problem of like you just burnt down the burrow just to have a dramatic cinematic moment, and now it's totally make sense. Like, I think it would have been interesting if you had saved that for the wedding. Like that all happens at the end of the wedding. Like, this horrible destruction that culminates in the burning of the burrow, and we like flee from that.
Yeah.
It just like feels like it's like, well, I guess if they just can like rebuild it that quickly, then it's like, I don't know.
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it feels like it cools it like puts out the fire, or like it. What am I trying to say? It
literally puts out the fire.
It literally puts out the fire. It just like doesn't keep it as interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not, the stakes aren't as high because they
go
can
that
just
crazy.
Like, yeah. So Hermione ends up obliviating her parents' memories. I would just like to say that her mother is played by Catelyn Stark from Game of Thrones, so shout out to her. The Dursleys leave number 4 Privet Drive. We do not get an exchange between Harry and Dudley. They do not have a moment. There is nothing.
Yeah.
We have a shot of Petunia in the car, but there is also not an awkward moment between Petunia and Harry.
Yeah.
So they're just on their way. Hermione leaves her house alone with the beaded bag. Shout out to the beaded bag.
Shout out to the beaded bag that is beaded.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then we get our lovely opening title sequence.
It is funny that she walks down the middle of the street.
Yeah, very specifically, yeah. I love it though. It's like
it's so cinematic.
Yes, the cinema. Yeah. Do it for the cinema. I also was curious where that was, and I forgot to look it up. I should have looked it up before I signed on, because I was like, I think it's a church. I'm guessing in the background, whatever the building was in the background. I was like,
oh, gorge. Right, yeah. It looked very idyllic.
Yes. So we get the lovely title sequence that is now quite dark and gloomy now, compared to obviously the very beginning title sequence for the very first movie with like the Warner Brothers and everything, the Harry Potter. Very, very different. Or no, it's just the WB actually. I don't think the other ones didn't have title sequences. Did like an actual name of
Harry Potter, yeah.
But the WB, because there's like compilations of how the WB like progressed through the years, which I love. Suddenly there is just a Death Eater flying through the sky. So
we're still on this Death Eaters fly thing.
And it's Snape specifically as well. So it's just every Death Eater basically has the ability to fly. Like, okay. He walks right into Malfoy Manor, has no problem just blazing through the gate. It turns into smoke. And then he's like, I've arrived. He goes up the stairs into the large
I
dining
literally
hall.
forgot where he was going. This is what I'm saying. We read these books. It takes us so long to read these books. Like, I'll be like, where is he at Hogwarts? I was like, he walks in.
Yeah,
he
it
walks
did look like Hogwarts,
in. He blows
for a second.
He blows through the gate. Then he goes into this like the lobby or the like not lobby. It's not a house doesn't have a lobby.
Yeah.
His like foyer.
Yeah, the foyer.
And I was like, is that supposed to be the Hogwarts foyer? Like I was like the entryway that's so small. And then he was like in the meeting and I was like, oh, I'm stupid.
So yes, he's at Malfoy Manor. In this very large dining hall, we've got the entire Death Eater gang. I almost said clan, but then you know what? Corrected myself. But then now I'm thinking about it. But they are a clan actually, so that's not. They're literally like the KKK of the wizarding world. So I'm not wrong. Snape and Yaxley have conflicting information regarding when they will be moving Harry. Voldemort asks Pius what he thinks about the situation.
Pius thick ass.
Yeah. Pius thick ass. He gives a very like politician's answer, which Voldemort's like, spoken like a true politician, am I right? So glad you've joined the clan. And then Voldemort is like, where do you think they will take him to Severus? So we can we're already getting the impression that he's going to believe Snape kind of by default more than Yaxley. And Snape's like, they're definitely going to take him to a safe house, obviously. So there'll be lots of protection. And that's kind of it. Then Bellatrix interrupts and she's like, I would like to volunteer for killing the boy. And then we hear a prisoner yell somewhere from off screen, somewhere down below. It sounds like, off in the distance. And Voldemort says to Wormtail to go and keep his prisoner quiet.
Don't you wonder how he would be getting the information? Is that a dumb thing to question?
No. I had that thought as well, because I'm like, you are out of the loop now.
You are out of the loop.
So we learned because one of our listeners said, I think didn't someone like tell us that he finds out because of, or we found out it's because he jogged Mundungus's like memory, like he cornered him somewhere.
Great.
And then gave him the idea, and then he was the one that suggested it, which I don't know if that was. It's been a while now, so I can't remember if we talked about that.
Great.
I can't remember if you and I talked about that like separately off pod or if we did mention it on the pod. So sorry, y'all. Apparently we have the memory of a goldfish when it comes to when this much time has passed.
Yeah.
Voldemort responds to Bellatrix saying he has to be the one to face Harry Potter, even though he's very inspired by her bloodlust. He's like, I love that for you, but this is my gig, girl, so stop coming for my gig. And then he asks Lucius for his wand because since their wands are like twin cores.
Twin cores. Mm-hmm.
He can't use his own wand. And so this is given away like right away in the film.
Yeah.
Like before the face off.
The wand stuff is given away way earlier than it needs to be because it basically has to end the movie. So they have to get into the wand of it all quickly. The wand of it, exactly. Get into the wand of it all. We're getting into the wand of it all before Burbage, what's her name? Charity Burbage is even dead. Like it's like right away. I really hate every time they cut to her just like I know. It's awful. I hate it. I know. Ugh. So as he's talking to Lucius about his wand, Lucius is not looking so good. He's got a little 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah. His hair's a mess. His hair is a mess. He's like very gaunt. And I'm not talking about the family. Okay. Yeah, he's
He's looking a little worse for wear. He does give his wand to Voldemort, and they start discussing its qualities. It is an elm wand, and the core is dragon heart string. Voldemort just snaps off. What would you call this? I was like, fancy little handle. Like, I was like, what is that?
It's basically the equivalent of like a cigarette holder.
Yeah, like the old fashioned kind.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's like a fancy top of a cane, but it's on his wand.
It's weird to even do it because I feel like most of the audience probably thought he broke his wand.
Yeah.
Because it's not super clear why he does it, but whatever.
If y'all are real ones, you remember that his wand comes out of his his cane. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which he doesn't, he has that cane for show. It's just for the fashion of it all.
Yeah. It's an accessory.
Yeah. It's a statement piece. But Voldemort just breaks that off. He has no time for that. And then he brings the Muggle Studies professor, Miss Charity Burbage, forward into the middle of the table. He specifically mentions how she'd like wizards to mate with Muggles. Like, he's like, if she had it her way, she'd have us mate with them. And all the Death Eaters are like, oh, disgusting. Bellatrix is like, blah! Like, she makes like a cartoon sound effect, like, blah. Yeah, literally.
This movie is the most Bellatrix has those like two strands of curls, like constantly in the middle of her face the whole movie. Just one eye.
I love it.
What was I just watching?
Where a character has hair over their eye?
No, where it was Helena in something, and I just happened to glance at a screen, and she was on screen, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Helena." I don't remember what it was though. Fuck, it doesn't matter. But I was
Cinderella. She's the godmother in that.
She is the godmother in Cinderella. It's true. A very strange role to give to Helena Bonham Carter, in my opinion, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know. I had that thought as well. I did like her. I liked her take on it, though. I was into it.
Yeah.
Where was I? They hate the idea of mating with Muggles. They're all, icking. They're all icking it. Then Charity calls out to Snape. She's like, Severus, we're friends, please. But his face is just totally impassive.
Do you think Charity and Severus Snape were friends?
Well, see, I had that thought as well, that I was like, were you though, girl? Maybe she's the kind of person that she's like, because we're coworkers, she's like a super sweetie. She's like, yeah, my friend, we work together. My dear friend Severus.
I'm trying to remember what she says in the book, or if she even says, I think she just says Severus, please, in the book.
Severus, please, yeah.
I definitely feel like she does not say we're friends in the book, because I would have pointed that out and been like, Severus doesn't have friends. That's actually kind of his whole MO.
Yeah, this whole thing.
But there is a funny alternate reality where, like, do you know the movie Meet the Robinsons, where Goob is like this character who like is like, everyone hates me, and then you go back and watch his memories as a child. He was like, everyone hated me, and in the orphanage and like at school, everybody's like, hey Goob, good to see you, Goob. Hey Goob, how are you? And like he's like, they hated me.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
So there's like an alternate reality where like everyone likes Snape, but he's like, no one likes me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm all on my own over here.
I'm alone.
Yeah. Sadly, Voldemort, Avada Kedavra's Charity, and
Draco can barely watch.
Draco is devastated. This is very upsetting to him. Snape, however, is still impassive, and then Voldemort says, Nagini, dinner is served. And then thankfully we cut away. Feel very bad. When he said that, I just immediately thought of Draco, because I know that if he's already upset, this has to be like so traumatic for him.
RJ and I just started watching a BL for our channel where it is about one of the two main characters is like a snake breeder. So there's a lot of snake imagery on screen for a lot of it. And then I had to watch this, and I have to recap the Nagini fight with Bathilda Bagshot, and I was oh no!
Yeah, lots of snakes in your life suddenly, huh?
Yoy.
So we're out of Malfoy Manor. We've poofed on out of there. Harry, we're back with Harry. He's having a dream or a memory.
I think that's when the title card happens of the movie. Isn't it?
What? I thought it was after Hermione. Why do I have two windows?
After Hermione was Warner Brothers, but I don't remember there being then we go through the Harry Potter logo.
Hold on.
Or maybe it was, and I was on a plane watching this and did not remember.
Suddenly, we pick back up with Harry.
Suddenly,
Seymour. He is reliving. I think it's reliving. I don't think he's dreaming because he's just like sitting up on his bed.
Mm-hmm.
We get a vision of Dumbledore sadly falling off the top of the tower again. Harry is in his room. We see him looking at the shard of glass, which was never introduced in previous films.
Nope. This would make no sense to anyone who only knows these. Yes, correct.
You would be like, what? I would love to see like RJ watch this moment. He'd be like, huh?
What is this?
Okay. Yeah. There was an eye in that? So he does.
And it's like clearly Dumbledore. It's like him.
Yeah.
And then he like turns it and it's
Dumbledore.
For sure Dumbledore.
Yeah. So that's wild. Yeah. Hey, girl.
That like picture of Miley Cyrus where she has like the blue-eyed stare.
Yeah.
That's Dumbledore.
Oh. Yeah. So if you've never read the books, you would be you're in for a wild ride. Then we get the shot of him sitting on his bed. Hedwig is in her cage, and it's like a full shot of the bedroom. So we're looking down on him in this teeny tiny bedroom. It's going to be the last time we're seeing him in this. We get a shot of the locket, the prophet with this obituary from Doge, and a notebook that he's been writing in where we see like RAB specifically scribbled, kind of trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up bringing Hedwig downstairs and looks around the empty house, just kind of, giving us that opportunity to kind of take in this our last night at Privet Drive, as well as Harry, the character, obviously.
Yeah. I will give it to the movie. It does a really good job of doing a lot of expository work, not through dialogue. It's a lot of visual work.
Yeah. Which is beautifully done. Speaking of beautifully done visual work, Harry opens his old cupboard underneath the stairs where we see the dusty little soldier that, if you remember, he was playing with in the first film when Vernon was like screwing a little plank over the letterbox. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That one I didn't need. That one I could have done without, but that's fine.
He opens the front door. There's Hagrid and then Hermione and Ron. They all hug each other. No one gives Hagrid a hug, which I was a little annoyed about, but that's fine.
It's so funny. They're the Golden Trio in the movies is so much warmer and friendlier to each other than in the books. It's so funny.
Yeah. They're always like hugging each other and embracing and stuff like that, and that's like not a thing in the book.
That is like not a thing in the books. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like that they do it. So then we have the trio. We have Hagrid. Then we have Moody, Arthur, Kingsley, Mundungus, Bill, who we've never met. Bill, Fleur, and the twins, and then finally Lupin and Tonks.
Isn't and, like, that crazy that we've never met Bill?
Yeah, never. We never meet. So Charlie doesn't exist. Charlie isn't a character.
Wild.
Except in that photo in the second.
In the second movie,
he's in the photo, but then we never meet him or anything.
Third movie.
Oh, sorry, third movie. Yes, where they win.
Yeah.
The Galleon Prize or whatever it is. Bill ends up introducing himself to Harry after Kingsley is like, "You're more important than the Prime Minister," and Harry's like, that photo of like Debbie Ryan.
Yeah,
that's Harry.
I want to make
Harry
history.
In this moment.
I walked in there and I said, "I want to make history."
No, I'm talking about the one from that movie.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. You're just saying that line, yeah.
Yeah.
Her in general, she has a lot of those moments, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, Bill introduces himself. They're like the twins make a comment about how he was like he wasn't always this handsome, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got these from Greyback," and I was like, I don't know how much we needed that if you're gonna like stick in the bit with the mirror and there's no explanation, but then like you have to tell us why Bill has like scars on his face. I just was a little bit like, I don't know how much we needed that, but fine, whatever.
Because then Remus has a little joke about being like, and now he eats raw meat or whatever.
Yeah. He's like, just remember now, he'll always take the steak raw or whatever. Tonks is like, "Oh, wait till you hear Remus and I," and then Moody's like, "We can't do this right now. We need to leave." This was
and also, that's it, right? I don't think is there even
no.
Do we even get the baby ever born? Even in the second movie?
I don't think we. No, I don't think we hear about it. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I don't think it's ever really mentioned again. Anything.
It's also a very shocking character switch for Remus to like be like, and I can't proud papa to announce that I'm fathering a child, because in the books that is not the energy of what's going on there.
No, yeah, they removed that whole storyline. That doesn't exist. We get the same thing. No Ted Tonks.
Tragic.
Yeah. We get the same thing from the book where Harry is very against everyone taking Polyjuice Potion. He's not here for it. And then Mundungus is like...
shirtless Daniel Radcliffe.
A lot. Mundungus is like, I didn't volunteer for this, actually. I was coerced. And then he's like, "Also nice to meet you." Which I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Funny. And then there's the bit of them all turning into Harry, which is so good. It's iconic. Do you know what part gets me every time? Do you know what part I'm going to say?
When Fleur is like, "Don't look at me, I'm hideous."
No, I do like that part. When it's panning around as everyone's transforming, everyone's face is kind of shifting. And then you just get to Hermione on the end and her face is just fully Dan. But everything else
I noticed
is the same.
that. I noticed that, yeah.
Everything is like Hermione's body, but Dan's face. And he's just like, it's so funny. I was like, I don't know who thought that was that. They were like, yeah, just leave it. But I love it. Every time it makes me laugh. We get the bit from Fred and George where they're like, "Wow, we're identical." Fleur's like, "Don't look at me, I'm hideous," and takes off her bra because obviously she doesn't need it anymore. And then we get... Oh, wait, where is it? No, yeah. We get... we find out that Hagrid is going to be the one that's going to take Harry out of Privet Drive for the last time. And we obviously... Hagrid says the bit about it's fitting because I brought you here all those years ago. He
said, "I brought you into this world and I can take you right out.
I'm going to take you out of it." Yeah, that's what he said. So Adam and I agreed we liked this better. He lets Hedwig out before they set off, so Hedwig is free right now.
I wouldn't have done it like right ahead of where you're gonna go. Like if there's any concern about people following you, like okay, it's fine. But and they leave in the middle of the street. They don't take off from the backyard.
Yeah,
the back garden. Also, I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The garden. Also, the people that are on brooms are not like on one single broom together, which is what I interpreted to happen in the book.
Yeah.
It's like 2 to a broom in the book, but they're just like next to each other.
Yeah.
So there are people are
Tandem.
together on the Thestrals because we get the shot of Bill and Harry like leaning, cradling Bill from behind.
I was wondering, like, had Fleur seen someone die? Had either of them seen someone die? How do you write a Thestral? This doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you can't see,
we can move on. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't seen anyone die, I don't think. But they do when they're in the air, Adam. So suddenly they just would have seen that they were on a Thestral.
That's true.
They would have been like, oh, whoa, here it is. Hello.
Yeah.
They're suddenly in the sky. They come through the cloud coverage, and then it's just like a battle. Harry wants to help the others, just like in the book, and Hagrid's like, nope, I gotta take you directly to the burrow. Those are my orders. So they fly.
By way of the highway.
By way of the motorway.
This pisses me off. I hate this.
I was like, oh, they're just like fully, I don't know if if they're coming from the south, I don't know if it would be the M1, but I was like, the M1 is what takes us into London. So I was like, oh, they're just fully on the M1. Like, just flying down. I was like,
it actually really drives me crazy. I remember the first time watching this, I was like, okay.
So curious why this was the choice. Just to be like, oh, we're in. But this would have cost so much more money to film in those locations, surely.
I get it feels way more cinematic because it like you can add the element of like they're narrowly missing cars, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, sure.
And I also think that like the beginning of the battle up in the sky when they're ambushed is like really it's very hard to focus on what you're supposed to be seeing because it's so I think a part of that is intentional so that you're supposed to feel like, oh shit, we're fucked. But it's a little wonky. So I guess this is like probably the better solution, but I hate when they like the whole point of the wizarding world is that muggles do not know wizards exist. And we constantly get these shots in these movies where they're like bebopping around.
Woo! Yeah. We're right above you.
I still think this is less where I think this isn't as bad though as in is it 6 when they like fly through
I know
like over the river
like
Thames
by Big
and
Ben. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do end up going back up into the sky at some point. Hagrid is like unconscious. So he's just Harry's having to drive. Hedwig appears suddenly in the sky and tries to save Harry by like basically trying to gouge out the Death Eaters. I like to believe she was aiming for his eyeballs. She was like,
would it have been smarter if they all had become Harry?
I don't know.
Instead of 7 Harrys, there are 14 Harrys, and everyone should just fly separately.
The more, the merrier.
Yeah. Everybody's Harry.
I think they were trying to have at least one person in each pair not be Harry so that one person could focus on getting there and one person could focus on defend. Like, I don't know. She just only wanted 7 Potters, for her number 7. She does love the
number 7. Mm-hmm.
So Hedwig
her and Voldemort,
try to...
lots in common.
Both so much in common, yeah. So Hedwig does try to intervene, but sadly, as she is coming back, like flying in front of Harry, she is hit with an Avada Kedavra curse. It is very sad still because we love Hedwig, but I liked that she died flying and she was free. Yes. She wasn't in a cage.
Very majestic.
And she also was like, trying to protect Harry, which was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And then she just falls to the earth.
I think he has to like explode the car with her in it. Like it's just awful. Then suddenly Harry's scar burns because somehow we think because of Hedwig, Voldemort knows where the real Harry Potter is and he's coming for him. Harry's wand ends up once again, he's just flying in the air. So Voldemort and his Death Eaters can just fully fly, and it's fine.
They're just...
But then there was... This one Death Eater was on a broom, so sometimes they can't fly.
I think there's maybe there's tiers. Maybe if like you're a high level, a high ranking, you get the flying ability.
Yeah. When Voldemort confronts Harry, Harry's wand basically acts of its own accord, similar to the book, and it ends up breaking Lucius's wand. It's just completely destroyed as Voldemort is just flying in the air. And then I had the thought that I was like...
And it explodes. Like, it explodes in fire. Yeah. It's crazy.
But then Adam, the flying in the air is not dependent on having a wand then either. I know he, like, stopped and he wrecked the electrical towers because he was so angry. But I was like, surely you would have just fallen out of the sky then. Because you don't have a wand at all. Did he have his wand in his pocket?
The wand was not... The wand, it's an invisible broom, or we don't know. We do not know.
We will never know.
But then this is like the thing that drives me crazy is then like the lore of this wizarding world does include that there's like cultures that don't use wands at all.
Yes, true. Yeah.
So none of it, whatever, who cares? Yeah. It doesn't matter. She should have written the 7th book and then never even written a Post-it note ever again.
Never said anything again.
Just stop talking.
Just fade.
Harper Lee.
Please. Voldemort is furious, brings down the electrical towers. Hagrid finally wakes up just as they land very roughly in a pond near the burrow. So they have made it. They are safely within whatever magical safeguards have been placed.
Yeah, and there's like as the camera passes through the like protective spell, there's like a wah sound, so you can like know that there is like
they're safe.
I think that's smart actually. That they do that well in this movie.
Yeah. They do it later too with like the Snatchers, and it was great.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Molly reveals. Molly and Ginny come out of the burrow. Molly reveals no one else is back yet. Lupin comes back with George, and we can see that George, one side of his head is covered in blood. Lupin ends up yanking Harry back as soon as they get in the house and pins him to the wall to confirm that it is indeed him, and he's not an imposter.
A Grindylow.
And he asks him what was the creature in the tank in his office, and Harry's like, well, at first Harry's like, have you gone mad? And he's like, tell me. And then Harry's like, it was a Grindylow. It was a Grindylow.
This would be a great thing.
Like, we've been betrayed.
To say before. I feel like you should be doing this even if you don't think you've been betrayed. I think this would be a great thing to do.
Yeah.
If Polyjuice Potion exists in the world and you all are using it,
verify
I just would start assuming that
anytime.
Two-factor authentication. Okay. I want to send a code to your wand, and you have to tell me what that code is.
Yeah. What was it? Give me the 6-digit code.
677974. Thank you. You are confirmed.
I thought you were reading out the Menards freight. What was it? No, the American Freight
10844. Yeah.
American Freight phone number. Kingsley lands outside, and then him and Lupin have the same little face-off moment with each other. Where he asked, what were the last words Dumbledore spoke to the pair of us? Which apparently were, Harry is the best hope we have. Trust him. Cool. Kingsley asks, what gave Harry away? And he says, Hedwig. She was trying to
And when was
me.
that said?
What?
When did Dumbledore tell them that?
I don't
Before
know.
He died?
I don't know. At an order meeting, maybe?
Maybe. I'd like to close out this meeting today before we adjourn, and I do have a couple last minute things. Of course, as always, I want to say Nitwit, Blubber, Oddment, Tweet.
Yeah, and Tweet.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And also.
Thanks so much. And also, trust in Harry. In Harry we trust, it's like they're closing.
In Harry we trust.
But they don't
putting that on our money.
Get a big head. Yeah. Harry says they what gave him away was Hedwig, and then that is the last that Hedwig is spoken about, which made me kind of sad. I was like, can you at least have Hagrid say I'm so sorry about Hedwig. I just was like, I know there's a lot happening right now, but that was like his childhood companion. Can one of you say I'm sorry for your loss?
Yeah.
I guess everyone's not back yet, so they're still they don't know who is alive or dead, but anyway. Everyone else except Moody and Mundungus Land, basically. Hermione and Ron have a nice little moment together where Tonks is like, oh, he deserved that, brilliant he was. And Hermione's like, really? And then Ron says, always the tone of surprise, which ends up coming back later between them, which is really cute. Fred comes in to see George, and we get the same bit that happens in the book about him being saint-like, he's holy. Then Bill tells everyone that they saw Moody die. And then that's like pretty much it. That's the end of the day. They're up in Ron's bedroom sleeping. Harry is dreaming of the Horcrux and Dumbledore once again. And then he suddenly gets a really quick flash of Voldemort saying, you lied to me, Ollivander. And he appears to be cornering him in some sort of dungeon. If we had to guess. Harry wakes up and grabs his wand, and then we see him basically just leaving the burrow with a backpack. But Ron heard him, so he's following him out. And Harry's like, no one else is going to die. And then Ron has this bit where he's like, you think that is happening because of you? Because Harry says, there's a lot going on.
Harry's like, I don't want anyone else to die for me. And he was like, we're not doing this for you, babe.
Yeah.
This is not about you.
I get you're the chosen one, but calm down here.
It's a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah. I think it's a good way of approaching it, knowing Harry as his best friend, to be like, listen, well, hold on there, mate.
Way bigger of movie Ron in this in this one than book Ron.
This is the first time I made a note about this, that I was like, they're very intentional with Ron's kind of purpose in this film, specifically in the beginning of this. He is kind of keeping Harry grounded. Mm-hmm. He's and in this moment as well, they're kind of, Harry's like, well, come with me then, just come with me and we'll go together. And he's like, and leave Hermione, we would not last 2 days, first off. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, don't tell her I said that. But I was like, you wouldn't. We've said this so many times. We're like, you literally would have gotten nowhere without Hermione. So he's like,
also, do you think Hermione doesn't know? Do you think Hermione doesn't know you wouldn't last 2 days, babe?
They should have shot, had the camera pan to Hermione in the window being like. So Harry's he's like, I'm sorry, because Ron's mentioning the wedding. He's like, we've got the wedding we need to stay for. Mom will kill us if we don't stay. And he's like, Harry's like, I'm so sorry, but I really don't care about a wedding right now. I don't care whose wedding it is. I just cannot be bothered to care. If we're gonna keep,
I just met Bill.
I just met him. Yeah, I just met him. He's like, the longer we wait, the stronger he gets, which a part of me was kind of he's talking about support wise, right? It's he will have more time to infiltrate the ministry. He'll be, because I was like, I don't think he physically is getting stronger in the sense of a Horcrux has been destroyed by Dumbledore. You have a Horcrux you are also going to destroy. So ideally he would be getting less powerful then. But I think he's meaning infiltrating the ministry and stuff like that. So yeah, they do a much better job of giving Ron just more purpose in this film. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the main purpose of him is to try and keep Harry grounded, at least for this first section of the film. The next morning, Harry. Yeah, the first act. The next morning, Harry's reading The Prophet when Ginny comes over and asks him to zip up her dress, which I was like, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember thinking this was kind of a little more risque than I expected. You can see her whole back and funny. She is not wearing a bra.
My first thought was they have zippers in the Wizarding World. Zip up my dress feels so you have magic.
Yeah, you don't need a zipper, girl.
Also, you can just do Zipify.
Yeah, right.
She just wanted to flirt.
Zippilio. Yeah, I just remember thinking like, oh, it's very like am I supposed to just be like, oh, cool?
It's crazy to me that the couple that you were like supposed to be like, and then they end up together because that is why like we as the audience are rooting for them to be a couple, is like easily outshadowed by the like evil Ver later in the movie. Like evil Harry, evil Hermione have way more chemistry in the like fake version of them than Harry and Bonnie. Unfortunately, Harry and Ginny.
I know. Unfortunately. While they're kissing, sorry, he zips up her dress, and then they just like start kissing. George sneaks in behind them and is like, morning. What is in his ear? Can someone tell me? I have wondered this my entire life. I understand his head needs to be bandaged. That's fine. Does he have something sticking out of his ear because it's keeping his ear canal open? He has like, I don't know how else to describe it other than it looks like he has just like a Q-tip like sticking out of his ear.
Wow, I didn't even clock that. Interesting.
I always am like, why? Because it comes out so far. And I'm like, why is that? What is that? Why is that in his ear? Anyway,
any ear, nose, and throat doctors, let us know.
Are you an ENT? Let me know. There's a great bit where they're all raising the tent, like out in front of the burrow for the wedding, and Hagrid is using his umbrella, which I was like, yay! Michael, when I was watching this, I was like, Hagrid has his umbrella, and Michael was like, can we just like get him a wand again? Like he was like, we know
what's the point of he
was like, his wand should have never been broken. Like, come on. And I was like, yeah, great point. And also, then, like, again, the Minister of Magic is suddenly there.
That's another one that's like, that's another one that drives me crazy the more I think about it, because like now we've established in France, people just have the wand does not choose the wizard, so it's not like you can just buy a new one, Hagrid. Like you can just go get a wand. It's fine.
It gets worse the longer it goes on. Like the more time passes, the more like if you're trying to track the lore, you're like, what are we even doing now?
Yeah.
So this is pretty much the same in the book, except it's not like as heated of an exchange with Scrimgeour. They all get their item from Scrimgeour. Mm-hmm. He mentions he does wait to see if something happens when Harry touches the snitch, but nothing happens, and he looks pretty disappointed.
But there's no real. The snitch thing happens way later in the movie. It happens in my section when they realize what it says.
Yeah. The only thing that was different about this is he was like, I think you know why I'm here. And it's like, no, they don't, because none of them knew they were,
no one
were in
knows.
the will. Like,
I think you know why I'm here. Nobody knows. The characters don't know, nor the audience. Nobody knows why you're here. I think
we all know why I'm here, okay? And they're like, huh? He mentions the sword as well, but he's like, it wasn't his to give, blah, blah, blah. And then in this version, the sword is missing.
Yeah.
So they don't know where it is. Ooh. This is also a different thing.
Which I guess makes sense, because they're not going to do, since they don't have the Dean and Grip Hook and all that, conversation, it's not even worth.
Yeah. Another thing that's different is that Harry is just Harry at the wedding. He's just Harry.
He's just Harry.
He's just Harry.
He is, yeah. He's not
everywhere except the Ministry.
Cousin Arthur or whatever, or Cousin
Barney.
Barney, yeah.
Doyle is crazy.
Doyle is crazy.
We see Hagrid with Madame Maxime. Maxine? Is it an M? Maxine.
It's an M.
Luna and her dad. Her dad is played by, I can't remember his name, but Alicent Hightower's dad in House of Dragon. So I was like, hey, friend. And then Ron and Hermione are kind of like looking longingly at each other across the room. There's a nice little bit of longing there. I personally feel like they show like Hermione and Ron's love kind of developing like so well in this film. Like the piano scene.
Mm-hmm. When she's teaching him Fearless.
There's so many moments. Yeah, there's just so many moments where you see like that they're really like a couple basically and like really falling for each other.
When they fall in the middle asleep and the hands reaching toward each other. I know. Yeah, it's so corny, but it's so
many
cute.
Good moments.
Yeah.
It's just, and I love that. I saw something the other day that it was talking about kind of like Pride and Prejudice, stuff like that, how they were like, bring back like the longing
romance
in films. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, but then I was like, that's why I like K-dramas, or because there is that rather than just like it's immediate like physical affection. I was like, no, I like the emotional longing that you see. I love it. At the wedding, Harry sits down and talks to Elphias Doge, and then Muriel is like at a table across from them and mentions Rita. This is so streamlined.
Yes, it is. I love
like bam, bam, bam.
I love the design of Aunt Muriel. Like the costume they gave her to wear, she looks just like 150. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Who plays him in this movie?
Elphias?
David Ryle plays Elphias in this movie. Why do I recognize him?
I had that thought as well. That I was like, what? Why does he look familiar?
Hold on. I'm pulling up his Wikipedia. I don't know why the hell I would know him. I don't watch enough British media like to be like, yeah, this is so weird. I know him from something because as soon as he was on the screen, and I know it wasn't just like, I know him from this. I don't know if maybe he was in like a filmed Shakespeare thing that I had to watch for school. That could be it.
Anyway. Oh yeah, that could be. Yeah, I had that thought as well, though, that I was like, why does he look a little familiar to me?
Yeah.
But yes, this whole
he looks he looks like an old British guy. That is a very old British looking man.
True. This is so streamlined, though. Like, it's like, what, maybe a minute of them going back and forth?
And it's barely back and forth. Like, once Aunt Muriel starts,
it was her,
he doesn't retort. Like, she's like, and here's the tea. Mama.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to tell you everything.
She was waiting to get this off her chest.
Yeah.
As soon as she saw Elphias Doge was at this wedding, she was like, I'm talking to him later.
So then Kingsley's Patronus shows up, but it's just a floating orb. It's not a lynx. And you can, like, make out people, like, running within the blue orb.
Yeah. Yeah, there's there's images.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a hologram.
I guess.
We've added a new element.
Yeah, a new layer. So they get
also,
out
I want to go back to the Aunt Muriel thing. She she is the one who vocalizes the question instead of like Harry kind of like struggling with it internally. She's like, how well did you even know him?
Yeah, she's like, did you even know him at all?
That's the question.
We don't know.
That's the central dramatic question.
So after they hear Kingsley's warning, then...
But then it's weird. I'm so sorry. It's weird because when we get to the Grindelwald stuff later, it's not brought up that, like, he, like, killed
there's
Muggles.
No connecting. Yeah. No.
But they do call out that, like, okay,
Dumbledore's dad murdered.
Dumbledore's dad killed three Muggles. Later in the movie, when Harry is in, it has to be your section. Later in the movie, when he's in Umbridge's office and he's flipping through the files, it says that Albus Dumbledore is a half-blood. And I was like, that's not true.
No.
It says that on his file. It says half-blood. And I literally paused the movie because I was like, his mom was for sure a witch. Because the whole point is that she was like embarrassed that her daughter could be a squib or whatever. That's the rumor. And then I was like, and obviously if his dad's killing muggles, it's not because he's also not a muggle.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point.
So weird.
I didn't see that. Yeah, that is weird. So they are able to all get together. Harry does try to save Ginny first, but Lupin is like, go, get out of here. So then the three of them all grab each other and then they apparate. They don't go to Tottenham Court Road. They land on a street called Shaftesbury Avenue because Hermione used to come to the theater with her family here.
They probably just couldn't get the permits to Tottenham Court.
Yeah, exactly. Probably not. They change their clothes because she pulls the clothes like out of a bag, and then they end up going to a coffee shop. Ron once again keeps Harry grounded because Harry's like, we got to go back. We got to go back and help everyone. And he's like, if we go back there, we're going to put them in more danger. So we should not be doing that. We're better off away from them. Harry's like, oh no, my rucksack. Oh no, I'm sorry. First off, Ron suggests going to the leaky cauldron. And Hermione's like, it's too dangerous. Then she says Voldemort's name. If Voldemort's taken over the ministry, everyone will have gone into hiding. Then Harry's like, oh no, my rucksack. I left my rucksack back at home with like everything in it. And Hermione's like, nope, I got it. I've got it all in the bag. I've had like everything packed for weeks now, just in case. So then, just like in the book, two men come in workers' uniforms. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. But in this, Harry sees them pull out the wand, like they're like facing away from them, which I was like, that's a little crazy to like pull your wand with your back to them.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dumb. You're not very bright. These Death Eaters aren't very bright.
No.
So Harry,
how do you feel about this worker girl?
Oh, she's fine. You mean like
she's
the fact
fine.
That she like couldn't hear it?
I think it's it's like a little too cute by half.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For me, it's a little too. I mean, like, listen, there's a lot of violence, or there's a lot of like fight scenes, and they only get more dramatic as time goes on. So I get
they're trying to ease you into it.
It's also now that I'm like so cognizant that these should be taking place in like the 90s, that like anytime there's like modern stuff, I'm like, ooh. Oh. It's like weird to me because she's like on her like
she has her little like headphones. No, she has it's an over ear.
Oh, is it over ear?
A 2000s one, yeah. It's like the old fashioned, like the kind of metal, and you like adjust the, you know. I think so anyway, unless I'm just making that up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Harry is able to like stun them. They all kind of hide behind the tables and chairs, and then they thankfully end up they defeat the Death Eaters in this exchange. So Harry remembers Raoul from the tower, and Ron recognizes Dolohov from the wanted posters. Ron is like, what should we do? Kill them? Like, if it was us, they would kill us. Mm-hmm. And then Harry's like, no, it's just better if we wipe their memories. To which Ron's like, you're the boss. But this is the first time, like, Ron has been like, should we just kill them?
Yeah.
So they end up wiping their memories. Hermione's the best at doing that, so Hermione does it.
The best meaning she's done it one other time.
Yeah. He's to be fair, he says you're the best at spells, I think is what he says.
Oh yeah,
so
that's true. Like, I think he does say that.
Yeah. Which she is. So when they are walking away outside, they are obviously discussing how they were found. Hermione is sad that they didn't get to give Harry the cake that they made, and Harry's like, I think I'll be okay. It's fine. We're at least alive. And then they end up at Grimald Place just to get off the street. They're like, we got to get somewhere safe. So the dust ghost, the gust of Albus appears.
Oh, yes, yes.
The dust ghost of Albus rushes towards them. Yeah, he rushes towards them. And then Hermione's like, yep, that's it. She does like a little revelio, and she's like, we're alone. It's just us here. So Harry ends up having another dream about Voldemort and Ollivander and him just like continuing to threaten him. They all have fallen asleep in one room. Hermione and Ron's hands are like
reaching toward each other.
Yeah, yeah. So they clearly fell asleep like holding hands. Harry goes upstairs and into Sirius's old room. And then when he's in there, Hermione and Ron are just like awake. They were asleep, but then they're just awake talking suddenly. Oh, so we don't get the bit in the book where they're like, where did you go? We don't get that.
Right.
In this version, in the film, Ron finds R.A.B. He's the one that finds it. So he shows them R.A.B. on the door.
I think you guys got to come see this.
Yep. They read the note again, and then they're just kind of wondering if he really destroyed it or not. And then we hear some like shuffling behind a little cupboard door, and it is Kreacher. So we get right into it with Kreacher about the locket and the whole thing. So in this version, we don't get the story of the island. We do get the bit about Kreacher trying to destroy it, but he couldn't. And then he reveals that Mundungus stole the locket, stole the real locket.
Well, because they're not going to like, they don't give Kreacher the, that he ends up liking them. They don't give like him the redemption
they just
or
don't
anything.
Do that. Yeah.
So they're like, there's no point. Because the only reason...
Yeah.
Not the only reason, obviously, but like part of the reason you would do the story is so that like you can realize how hard it's been for Kreacher and like whatever and blah, blah, blah. We'll sympathize with him, but...
Yeah. So Harry tells Kreacher to find him, and then Kreacher just immediately disapparates. The Death Eaters end up stopping the Hogwarts Express because they're looking for Harry, but Neville is like, hey, losers, he isn't here. And then the new Ministry team consists of Pius, Umbridge, Yaxley, and then I remembered his name was Runcorn, but a fourth person that we will be seeing later.
Great.
And then we get our first look at the Snatcher.
The Hogwarts Express scene is so stupid. In my opinion.
Yeah, I was like, it's just to show they're cracking down?
Is it just to give him a line so they could pay him for a day of work for this movie?
I guess so, yeah. This is literally his only thing in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird because... Like, I am a person who would have loved to know, like, what goes on at Hogwarts in this book.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, don't give me a fucking Fantastic Beasts series. Give me like a full movie of like what goes on while this happens.
Neville's
right?
perspective or whatever. Yeah.
But she didn't ask me. She hasn't asked me a lot of things, so
clearly. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get this bit with the Snatcher thugs as well. So the new Ministry is announced, and then we also see these Snatcher people. Then we catch up with Mundungus Fletcher on the streets. He is also trying to avoid the Snatchers. And then Hermione and Ron back at Grimald Place are sitting at the piano together. Hermione is trying to teach Ron the piano, but as she's playing... he isn't looking at the keys at all. He's just staring at her, which is really cute. I love it. So then they discuss the whole snitches having flesh memories thing, like really quickly. And then they hear Kreacher downstairs and like Mundungus like trying to get away from him. Kreacher and Mundungus are there, but also Dobby is now here, which I love this bit so much. I forgot about this. This is my favorite bit in this movie, other than like the sweet, like longing bits, but I mean like comedic bit. Dobby being here and like not letting Kreacher get a word
tell
in
the story. It's so funny. It's so funny. And Kreacher being annoyed about it too. Yeah. It's so funny.
And then Kreacher just has his little knife that he keeps like poking Mundungus with. Oh, it was so funny. But yeah, that moment where like I think it's like Dobby's like, and then, and he like elbows like
he elbows Kreacher out of the way.
And then he sees Ron and he's like, Mr. Weasley. And they like shake hands. And then Ron's like, oh, great trainers. Because he's wearing little shoes. But Adam, why is Dobby not in clothes? Why is he wearing a freaking pillowcase? I was so mad about it. I had to stop the movie. I wonder
if they did it because they were like, I don't know. I don't even know what the
put him in a long t-shirt. Put him in a tank top. Like, I don't understand why. It made me so, when I realized it, I was so mad. I was like, I will never forgive you for not putting him in a cute little like cardigan or something.
Yeah.
God.
God forbid you buy him a Chanel suit to put him in. Yeah. My God.
Yeah. So that, I literally, my note is in all caps. Dobby should be wearing clothes. Hello. I was so mad about it. I was like, why? Why are we doing this? So they start questioning Mundungus about the locket while Kreacher keeps poking him with the little knife. Mundungus said this like little woman took it from him, and then there just happens to be a Daily Prophet on the floor next to him, and he's like, oh, it was her. It was that woman right there. Bow and all.
Oh, how lucky. Bow and all.
So there's a photo of Umbridge in the Prophet, and then in that photo with her is Mafalda, who Hermione is going to
Mafalda Hopkirk.
Hermione is going to be pretending to be. So then, next scene, we're with Ron on a city street. This woman who is in the photo with Umbridge, she is walking into work. They stun her, and then they take her, like, off into the little rubbish bin alleyway, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just stun a woman and then pick her up and take her. I was like, if I was a random person on the street, I would be like, what is going on? So
it's so in broad daylight, and it's the busiest street in London. Yes, there's so many pedestrians. Literally
someone walking back or past while it's happening. Like
I get that it's a little played for comedy, but I was like, okay, but we gotta make it like a little more believable.
Yeah, come on now.
He like holds her legs for so long before he starts walking with them. I was like, okay, let's move it along.
Yeah, come on, let's go. So they've got two other Ministry workers there, and so then they end up transforming into all of them. Did you notice that they all kind of have like the same coloring? I feel like that was intentional.
That was intentional for sure.
Yeah. But there is another part once again from Ron kind of keeping them all on track. So they're like, this is mental, like that we're gonna do this. And Ron's
listen,
like,
I like Mafalda's little beehive. I like her little beehive. I think it's cute.
Yeah. But yeah, Ron says, this is the world is mental. Come on, we've got a Horcrux to find. So he's like, come on, guys, get your head in the game. They get into the Ministry through the bathroom stalls. Yeah. Get your head in the game. Gotta get you. Yeah, Ron is Zach.
Troy Bolton.
Oh, Troy Bolton. Yeah, thank you. Did you know, apparently, do you know what? I should fact check this before I say this, but I'm going to say a video on Instagram told me a Cinderella story starring Hilary Duff. Chad Michael Murray's role was originally supposed to be played by Rupert Grint. And I was like, how? First off, how?
That's so weird.
How would that have happened? How would he have even been able to film that? He had to be in like the UK for so long. I was like,
weird.
How? Yeah, I was like, no way, that cannot be true. So they get into the Ministry through the bathrooms, through flushing themselves in. Harry and Ron are like a little bit confused when they first get in there, but Ron figures it out and tells him. Then they come out through the fireplaces, which I was like, question mark? They come out through the Flu Network fireplace.
Yeah. Yes.
Why? I was like,
I don't know.
Okay.
Because they were like, we're not going to design another thing. We've already shown that people show
like,
up in these. It's what's happening.
Yeah, that's how they get in, I guess. So then there's officers that like kind of look like, what would you say? Like Russian kind of uniformed.
Ari, it says Rupert Grint won the role of Austin Ames, but had to drop out due to commitments to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. The role of Austin Ames instead went to Chad Michael Murray.
He was supposed to be Austin Ames. Cannot imagine
crazy.
That role.
Also, that's
I would love
crazy
to see
too,
it. Don't
because
get me
it was
wrong.
That time. How old would he have been?
I know. This I was like, were him and Hillary? Wasn't Hillary like older than him?
Rupert was born in 88. Hillary was born in 87.
He was
so he's a year younger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He is the oldest of the three of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I think Tom is out of like if we're including more than the trio, Tom is the oldest, but of the trio, Rupert is. But I was like, he would have played like an American footballer as well. Like I just was like, that is so wild.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So as they're walking into the ministry, someone just gets like snatched by like someone that looks like kind of like a Nazi / like Russian uniformed officer.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, what did I do? And then we get to see the new statue in the Ministry of Magic, which is horrifying. But I did want to say, at least they're wearing clothes, because in the book they were like naked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't need that. We also learn they don't know how long this polyjuice potion is gonna last.
Which is so strange, because I feel like the fucking polyjuice potion that we are introduced to in the fucking second book of this fucking series is very like, it lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
It is a 60-minute potion.
Yeah.
That's why
standard.
Barty Crouch Jr. had to keep drinking it. Anyway, whatever. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. So we do get this exchange between Yaxley and Ron, is cat or mole, because obviously Ron is not Ron right now, where he mentions his wife and how he's like going to be, he's the one that is going to be down there with his wife in the courtroom or whatever it is. Oh, yeah. And he gives him 1 hour to get his office sorted. So then Ron has like a little comedic relief moment where he's like, my wife's down there. And he's like, Ron, you don't have a wife. And he's like, oh yeah, right. But then he's like, okay, well, good luck fixing that office. Hermione gives him the Finite Incantatem suggestion. He gets off. Then Hermione and Harry run into Umbridge. And then when Umbridge gets in, she's like, aren't you getting out, Albert? So then Harry's like, okay, I guess I should get off here.
The way this actor walks is so funny. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it was great. So then when he's being Runcorn, he sees a ton of pamphlets being printed that say mudbloods and the dangers they pose.
The other thing that I saw was that there's a person at the ministry who's inputting like leaflets of like most wanted into the Daily Prophet. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a most wanted poster for Harry, and it's just like a little insert, and they're putting him in the Daily Prophets. But I was like, wow, you people have magic. Why are you doing mundane things like stuffing? Why are we stuffing?
Come on.
It's crazy.
So while Harry as Runcorn is like walking through, Pius walks by and says hello to him. And then we see Umbridge's office with Moody's eye in it. Harry does not take the eye
at all.
Yeah, Harry does not take the eye. It just stays in there. Harry ends up setting off, I thought they were dung bombs. He ends up setting off dung bombs so he can get in. He tries to summon the locket, but it's not in there. But he does see a bunch of like propaganda flyers and then the Order of the Phoenix people's files and like notes about like people being tracked. The people that have died are like crossed out.
This is when Dumbledore says he's a half-blood, and I was like,
yes.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I did not see that at all. I did not see that. But yeah, so Runcorn. Harry's Runcorn has an emotional reaction to this. He ends up meeting back up with Ron in the elevator. Ron already forgot what he looked like. So he's like, oh, he has to be like, Ron, it's me. And then they go down to find Hermione. So Ron's man that he's pretending to be, Cattermole, his wife is down in this hearing. Harry can sense the Horcrux. He's like, I know it's here. I can feel that it's here. Umbridge is having the time of her life interrogating Mary Cattermole. And she's asking who she took this wand from. And Mary's like, I didn't take it from anyone. It chose me at Ollivanders. And she's like, no, wands only choose witches and you're not a witch. And I'm like, what the hell is the theory with this then? It's just like, oh, you stole magic? Like, they can't. If she's a muggle, she can't. If she's a muggle, that wand wouldn't work for her. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, thankfully, they managed to get Mary Cattermole and the locket both out. Because Harry stuns Umbridge after saying, like, I must not tell lies. And then
they have the Dementors, so they keep the her cat is keeping the Dementors at bay.
Yep. And then they all like swoop down.
I kind of like that they're all like above, like on the ceiling, waiting to just fall onto them. It was really scary. Yeah.
And then like them trying to get them through the lift grate was spooky.
Yes. Yeah. And that was when I was like, "Oh, are they corporeal?" I was like,
"Yeah, I know.
Do barriers affect them?" I don't think they're ghosts, but there's something about the way they're designed that I'm like, "Oh, they should be able to just."
I know.
Get through. I don't know, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't like the. They're really physicalized in this in a way that it's just not. It's not really my thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
Harry has to cast his Patronus so they can get up safely in the lift. Ron tries to tell Mary Cattermole to leave. He's like, we need to leave, get the kids and like leave the country. But he can't get away before she grabs him and kisses him.
I hate this part. I don't like how lightly this is treated. There's something about the tone of it that makes it
fit the comedy.
And it really bugged me because I was like, I know you know what this is because later you literally in this movie have Bellatrix draw mudblood on Hermione's arm, akin to like the numbering system of the Holocaust survivors, right? Like that is the allegory they're going with. So they know what they're doing. I just was like, this lady nearly just escaped, like, essentially going to a concentration camp, and then we're gonna do this lighthearted bit of being like, she's kissing the wrong guy, and I was like, I don't know if now it didn't work for me.
I don't know if now is the time. Yeah. You're like, I don't know if now.
I get that people want to like
lighten the mood or whatever,
lighten the mood a little bit, but like. It's just, this is not the book to be like, let's find the humor where we can, babe.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we got to work it in somewhere.
Because I do think there are times that the humor does work. Like, there's a lot of, like, in my half of the movie, there's a lot of Hermione comedy that I think is so funny. But this did not work for me, especially with how, like, the pace is so ratcheted at this point because it's like they're trying to get out of the ministry and then we have to stop to do this like comedy bit. And I was like, it's not funny enough. We have to move on.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
No.
So while she's kissing him, the real Reg appears and he has turned back into Ron now. So she is like, but again, y'all know Polyjuice Potion exists in this world.
I know.
You know Polyjuice Potion is a thing. So then Ron's like, long story, nice to meet you, and runs away. They all try to run off, but someone has recognized Harry and is like, it's Harry Potter, it's him, he's there. They just barely get out, and how they represent them getting sucked out of the apparition space because
I like the slow-mo sequence of like all of them jumping into the
running
thing, him jumping in after them.
Yeah.
I like that, and then I like the way it's. I will say it's way more clear in the book. Like, if you didn't read the book, this doesn't really make sense.
The visual is really hard to tell. Yeah.
But there is, like, definitely, like, it feels like it's, like, something happens in the middle and it gets fucked up, and that's when they end up outside.
Yeah. And it's, like, almost like the line of them transforms into the line of the tree.
Yeah.
Like, the tree canopy,
and then it, like, opens up,
cool.
Yeah,
which was cool. Ron has flinched himself, just like in the book. Harry gets the essence of Dittany to Hermione. They have the same exchange about, he was like, why are we here? She tried to take them back to Grimmauld Place, but then because Yaxley has seen it, they can't stay there, obviously. Hermione, then after Ron is like stable again, starts casting the protective enchantments because of their experience on chef, what was it? What in the city, because of their experience in the coffee shop.
Oh yeah, at the coffee shop. I really liked Emma's like terror about Ron's wounds. Like I really felt that she was very viscerally scared for him.
Yeah,
which I thought I think I like the scene a lot actually.
Yeah. She's a great bedside manner, Emma / Hermione.
She'd be a great nurse.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think she's probably way too scared, so she would not be a great nurse.
And then as she's casting the protective enchantments, she asks Harry to set up the tent. And he's like, the tent? And then we just get a shot of her beaded bag because it's got everything in it. It's the Mary Poppins bag. The next day, they're in the woods, and they're trying to figure out how to destroy the locket, but nothing is working. Ron has his arm in a sling, and he still looks quite pale. And then he says to Harry...
I mean, I think Rupert is naturally pretty pale.
Oh, no, girl, he looks green. He is, like, not a normal color,
Yeah.
Speaking as a pale person myself...
A member of the pale, a person of a pale of person,
a pale of person, a person of pale,
a person of no color.
Yeah, literally. Oh, okay. And then Ron asks Harry, this seems strange. Dumbledore sent you off to destroy these, but hasn't told you how to do it. Doesn't that bother you? And I was like, I kind of liked that he asked that question, that he was like, yeah, isn't this weird to you? And Harry just ignores him. He doesn't answer. So Harry ends up getting another vision of Voldemort now talking to Grego. And he's talking about the thief.
Mm-hmm. Grego. The confidence with which you say Grego is so funny.
Because I love the name Grego. It's just such a funny name to me. He's asking him about the thief. Whoever played Grigorovich, like, I genuinely felt so sad for him. He was so, like, it was such a pitiful state that he was in. And it made me so sad. Like, I was like, my emotion, I was emotional. My emotions were affected by his performance. I was like genuinely moved. It made me sad. And he's like, it made me sad. And he was like, I never knew who he was. And then Voldemort's like, I believe you. And then he just kills him. Because he knows the truth, so he doesn't need anything else from him anymore. And then Hermione catches Harry, like, mid-vision, basically. And she's like, I thought it had stopped. You can't keep listening in. Like, you have to try and block him out. And then Harry's like, let me tell you what I just saw, though, because he was talking to Grego about this thief person who stole the wand. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, okay, so he's looking for a wand. He's, like, figuring it out. He's like, yeah, that's what he's looking for. And he was obviously onto something because he was talking to Ollivander previously. So Harry's, like, putting it together. And also, while this is happening, we can hear like the wireless. So the wireless is already in the picture in the film.
Yes.
The wireless is there from the beginning. So Harry is getting annoyed about the wireless. It's bugging him that Ron is like constantly trying to adjust it. And Hermione's like, don't. Because it looks like Harry's going to tell him off. And she's like, it comforts him. Just like, let him have this. And she's like, he's listening to it because he's worried about his family. Duh, hello. And then Harry's like, we need to get ready to go. And she's like, he's not strong enough. Like, I'm doing everything I can, but he's not strong enough yet. And then Harry's like, you're not doing enough. And then she tells him to take off the Horcrux, which he does. And then he instantly is like, feels
like better?
A lot
Loads.
better. Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, we're going to take this in turns now. Okay. Because that was clearly too much. So there's one night Hermione is sitting outside the tent and she hears like a twig snapping or like rustling in the leaves. So she gets up. Yeah.
This scene is so cool. It's so cool.
Inside the tent, Harry is awake, but Ron is asleep. And we do get a quick little snippet about Snape being headmaster of Hogwarts, but then the wireless like cuts out again. Harry watches Snape pacing in the headmaster's office or headmaster's quarters, like on the Marauders map.
On the Marauders map.
And then Hermione, again in the woods, sees the Snatchers carrying 2 bodies back with them.
Crazy.
And I was like, are they taking them to the Ministry, or are these people already dead and they're like,
I think we're supposed to assume they're taking them to the Ministry.
Okay.
But then I don't know why they would be carrying them, because you can just apparate. So I don't know.
Yeah. So the lead Snatcher, who I don't know if he has a name, the main guy.
Yeah, the one who looks like that.
Yeah, the one who looks like that.
Yeah.
He can't see her, and we get this good, like, we do like a full 360 of her with the protective enchantment, him on the other side of it, not being able to see anything, back to her again. But he can smell her perfume. So they're not completely
hilarious to me that Hermione is
way.
Putting on her perfume every day. Babe.
I know.
I promise you now is not the time.
She's having, her and Ron, it's the romance.
Self-care.
Adam.
It's self-care.
Yeah. She wants to feel good about herself, So, yeah, Harry ends up coming out and he's like, well, it's good to know your enchantments work, I guess. But then they're like, we have to travel on foot because Ron isn't well enough to apparate yet. But Harry's like, we just have to get out of here because, like, clearly the Snatchers are nearby, so let's go. So we see them traveling through various different parts of England. They go through a trailer park.
Oh, okay. As they're coming back, they're walking down, and Harry makes a comment being like, "In the future, don't wear perfume or whatever." And Ron sees them.
So because he mentioned about her perfume.
Yep.
That's why he thinks
they're like
weird
making out. Yeah.
Oh, I did not catch that. Wow.
That's why I was like, oh, actually, that's really interesting to have it. It's smart because it's both a thing that wouldn't work with the like protective enchantments to make it perfume, but also using the perfume as like a symbol of like being
intimacy or something.
Yeah, maybe they're doing stuff together. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's smart, actually.
Yeah.
Now, it would be better if he just talked to his friends about his insecurities and like let them know. But
yeah, come on. So yeah, they're traveling together through different parts of England. Ron is having a hard time because he's still like on the mend, so he's not really at full health still. But he is also very paranoid about something happening between Harry and Hermione, and obviously wearing the Horcrux is making it worse. So we get some shots of Ron, like when he sees them like walking together, looking at each other. He's like, scowling. He doesn't like it.
He's not in a great mood.
And while this is happening, all we hear is the names of people who have been murdered being like read
murdered.
over, missing or murdered over the wireless. So it is, I remember watching this today. I never really, I was like, I never really took that in before or just didn't remember it. And I was like, yeah, that's spooky. Then suddenly we're back in the tent. It's another day, another evening. It's nighttime. And Hermione is cutting Harry's hair. And then in the middle of cutting it, she's like, oh my God. And then she gets up and Harry's like, what? What? What's going on?
Yeah, I like that he reaches for he thinks she like fucked his haircut up. It's so funny.
Yeah. He's like, what? And then she's like, I'll tell you in a minute. He's like, maybe you can tell me now. And then she's like, the sword of Gryffindor, it absorbs magical properties because it's goblin made.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like this moment. It's fine. They have to get this point across, and there's no better way to do it. And I think potentially they're trying to draw the allegory that because she's cutting his hair, she's thinking of things that cut, like blades. And so that's where she's like, her mind went there. I don't know. But it's to me, I was like, okay, she just like okay, sure. Because this is all the conversation we're supposed to learn from them talking about, like the conversation they overhear between like the goblins or whatever. Yeah. And she does say, Hermione says in the movie, it is impregnated with the basilisk's venom. And I was like, you can't be serious that we're still using the word impregnated. Why are we using that?
Why are we using that? Why?
I promise there are synonyms.
Yeah, I'm like, absorbed the magical properties. It absorbs magical properties. Hello.
Imbued.
So they're like, it'll have, imbued, So it's the basilisk venom in that sword. That's why Dumbledore left the sword, because it has absorbed that, and now it can destroy Horcruxes. And then Harry's like, oh my gosh, you're brilliant. This is amazing, Hermione. I can't believe you figured this out. Incredible.
But then can I ask a question?
Yeah. Always, Adam.
Why didn't Dumbledore use the sword on the ring?
No, he did. That's what he used.
But he had to wear the ring to like open the kind of like the way Harry has to like open the locket for it to okay. Yeah. All right, fair enough.
So then suddenly the lights go out because Ron has tapped his Deluminator. And then he just appears and is like, that's right, I'm still here, but you two carry on. And they're both like, what is going on?
Okay.
So then they get into it. It is very similar to in the book. Ron is upset that Harry hasn't known exactly what to do, that they've kind of been just meandering around trying to figure out what to do. Harry's like, I've told you everything Dumbledore told me. So I don't know why, like, this hasn't been living up to your expectations of what this was going to be like.
So this wasn't a 4-star trip.
Literally, yeah. I think he says, like, did you think you would be home back with your mother for Christmas? Like, it's like very, very similar to the book. And Ron is wearing the Horcrux. So Hermione's like, just take it off. You wouldn't be saying any of this if you just would take off the Horcrux. But he won't. And he, like, pushes her away from him. Then it's brought up, like, Ron listening to the wireless and that he's doing it because he's so worried about his family. And Harry's like, I understand. I feel the same way. And Ron's like, no, you don't feel the same way because you don't have a family. Your parents are dead. And the way that this escalated so naturally was like, I could watch that scene like multiple times because obviously it helps, like, the editor has the timing nailed perfectly with how they go back and forth. But like the way that Ron yells at him when he's like, no, you don't know what it's like because you don't have a family. Like, I was like, oh no, this is like, I would believe this is a real argument between them. Like, it does not feel acted at all. It feels so genuine. And then Hermione tries to, like, break up their physical fight. But like, it's all of them. It's not just Rupert and Dan because like they're great and how they're going back and forth to each other. But the way that like Emma is like absorbing, like is being impacted by their anger at each other is just like heartbreaking. Like it just is so like from the moment that Ron kind of comes out to be like, oh yeah, I'm still here. The look that like Emma gives him I was like, oh, it just was like so hard to watch, but so satisfying to watch from like a scene analysis perspective as like an actor. I was like, oh, so good. Chef's kiss. And then Ron asks if Hermione is coming with him or staying because he like gets his stuff and he's ready to go. And then Hermione doesn't move. So Ron says, I get it. I saw you two the other night. And Hermione's
That's like, what he's talking about. Nothing. The perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, that was nothing. And then follows him out and asks him to please come back. And then like basically just says his name twice. But the way that she says Ron right before he apparates, like the urgency, again, like just like heartbreaking. Oh, it's so good.
It's also such an insane... it's so believable that in the moment you would be so flustered that you would say something like, that's nothing.
Yeah,
but truly the phrase, that's nothing, is not what Ron needs to say. Like, if he already thinks it's something, you being like, the thing we have going on? That's nothing. Like, just be like, what thing?
There isn't a thing, girl.
What are you talking about, diva?
What are you saying? So Hermione, that's it, by the way. We hear that Ron apparates after Hermione says his name one last time. We see Harry in the tent kind of realize that he's really gone. Hermione ends up leaving a marker the next morning. There's like a scarf that she ties to the tree before they leave. Harry grabs onto her hand and they apparate together on top of this like mass of like very unique looking rock formation. I was like, I have no idea where that is.
I don't think it's anywhere. I'm pretty sure this whole thing is green screen. This location, I believe, is all green screen because that's
okay.
We start here when we start my section, and the green screen was driving me crazy in this scene because it looks so fuzzy around them. I'm like,
sure. There was one shot of, I think it was Ron when he lands at the burrow that I was like, at the beginning, that I was like, when they're hugging, that I was like, whoa, the green screen. I was like, yeah, wow, we have come very far with green screen because I could really see it. I think they did
film at a lot of like different locations in the UK for this movie.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some that were like, not.
Yeah, they're like just a sound stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Harry ends up setting the protective enchantments up at this location because Hermione just like immediately starts crying. And then later that night, Hermione has the radio turned on in the tent, playing music rather than, what they're typically trying to find. And then Harry,
scene in this movie.
Here we go. Harry puts out his hand to Hermione, takes the Horcrux off of her, and then tries to get her to dance with him, which she does eventually give into, and they do dance around a little bit to lighten the mood. It does work like temporarily for Hermione, but then it ends with her breaking away because like she feels the sadness again and can't like just pretend. This is the choice in this movie that is very strange to me. I understand like theoretically like what they were trying to do because it's like, oh, they're like alone together and he's like, I understand the intention of Harry the character. It is so strange and so that there's because it's like a big chunk of the song we're listening to. They just play like the whole song through it. I was like, I almost wanted it to be like no lyrics at all and just music. Like I was kind of like, we're literally getting a full-on song on the radio. Like I was just, I don't know.
I wondered if they were like worried that they were like, we can't repeat the scene in movie 6 where like Harry comforts Hermione as she cries when she sends the birds after Ron. Because that is like it should be, if you want to have this moment where like they console each other about this loss, basically, that would be what you film, but I don't know. It's so strange. It
just feels like it's in another world suddenly. Like
it's not in this movie.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But it doesn't feel like it's an intentional choice. It feels like they were unaware that it was going to come off that way.
Yeah.
It's just very strange. So it's not for me. I've never liked it. I still don't like watching it. Like, I haven't like come around to it, like in time. Like, the only part I do like is the moment at the end where the music stops and Hermione just like leaves, like walks away from him.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, you can't like pretend like everything's okay. You guys have to like talk about this, but they never do.
I do think some people in the discussion about the scene make too much of it and say like they were trying to make it seem like they had romantic chemistry, and like that is clearly not what they're trying to do. With
not
the scene
at all. No,
it is clearly Harry is trying to cheer her up, and it does not work.
Yeah, and it does not work. Yeah, but no, I never thought it was like they're trying to act like they should be together. No.
Yeah, it's also though interesting because book Harry would never do this. I mean, I believe there is a version of movie Harry that does this. Like,
yeah.
My issue is not that I don't believe that he would try to cheer her up in this way, but definitely book Harry is like they are at this point they are two different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's where we're leaving it for part 1. So you'll have to come back for part 2 and hear if we ever get over that awkward dance. Dance moment.
Great. Well, great job, Ari. Next week we'll be finishing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so we can get a perfect score. 5 stars only, or else you will have to awkwardly dance in the middle of Harry and Hermione. Just right in the middle.
Yeah, I have to be in between them.
Yeah. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HB Anxious, YouTube at The Ampliverse. We are hosted on Spotify for podcasters, so thank you to them, and are a proud member of The Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com. Thanks, Ari.
Thank you, Adam.
And as always, beep bop ba doo ba dop beep beep boop boop.
No, but awkwardly.
But really awkwardly.